Hello everybody, my name is Jorge Nunez and this is the video for Universidad Técnica Particular de Loja. This is the subject of syntax and teaching grammar, and this is a topic about providing tips to teach objects, direct object, indirect object, and oblique object. Here are some strategies that I have been using so far. So this is the table that I have been making for develop my contribution to this video collaboration. So the object, what is the object? So we have to define what is the object first in order to understand the following steps. So the person or thing affected by the action. Let's say that someone broke a pencil. So we're gonna say a sentence like Luis broke this pencil. So who broke the pencil? Luis broke the pencil. So in this case, the direct object is going to be the pencil. So here we have three subtopics that we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be providing some tips to develop these subtopics. The first one is direct object. The direct object is the entity affected by the action. Indirect object is the entity benefited by the action, and the oblique object, this is introduced by a preposition like to or for. Direct objectives. So in this case we have two pictures here that the first tip is going to be like describing the character. What is this character doing in this case? So one of the students will need to describe the character in the board. Let's say that we have to put this picture into the board, so everybody is going to be looking at this picture. So in this case, Bob the constructor cuts the grass, so the direct object is the grass. Another tip that we can provide is flashcards or worksheets. In order to apply this tip, it's necessary to show the students and ask them to find the. I'm going to set the complete sentences right now. Oliver shot the ball. So the students will be needing to identify the subject, the verb, and the direct object. So in this case, the subject is Oliver, the verb is shoot, and the direct object is the ball. Indirect object tips. So here we have a little bit of the introducing to these indirect objects. The concept is an indirect object is a word or phrase that informs to whom or for whom something is being done. It can be a person, an animal, or a thing. Not every sentence has a direct object pronoun, but there is a good chance that if a sentence that does have a direct object, it will also have an indirect object. The general rule is that a sentence cannot have an indirect object unless it has a direct object. However, exceptions do exist. So clear with the concept of this indirect object. So here we have a couple tips that we have to develop in our classroom. We ask the students to provide ideas for a sentence looking for half all the elements in the structure of a sentence, subjects, verbs, and so on. Then we make sentence with all those ideas. So like in the picture, the first picture that says in this order, for boy, the run went. So what's going to be the result? Will I on my hat put and the dot? So dog is dead at bed dead. So we have to put these sentences in order. So the first one is going to be the boy run for a went. The second one is going to be I will put on my hat. I'm going to put my hat on. So the third one is going to be the dog is at the bed. And the fourth one is going to be here is a red pen. So like the second tip that I have here is like not every sentence will have a direct object and or indirect object like we explained it before. So we will choose one of the students to describe to what is doing the other student. So in this case I'm providing that the interaction between the professor and the student. Julio gives Maria lessons. In this case, Julio gives Maria piano lessons. Then we have, as the last thing, the oblique objects. We're gonna see a couple tips to teach the oblique objects. First of all, this is the definition. An oblique object is a grammatical relation proposed for a noun, phrase, clause, constituent with the following characteristics. Its nature and behavior are more readily describable in semantic sentence terms than syntactic. So here we have three sentences. Then, as the first tip is going to be completing the sentence. Students will be finalizing the sentence that teacher gave using the preposition for and to, like the first sentence. Luis go for shopping. Maria will buy a ball to her friend. Teachers provide the following sentences to identify the oblique object. Luis sang a song. Luis sang his wife a song. Luis sang a song for his wife. Sheila bought his friend a breakfast. Sheila brought a breakfast for her friend. So these are the three tips that I can be citing right now, and this is coming to my reflection. My reflection will be that this is very important to teach the students in order to know what are the direct object, the indirect object, and the oblique object. So this is very useful for all the students to know what is going to happen in the sentence. Where are they going to have the direct object, the indirect objects, and the oblique objects. And the goal of these lessons will be to establish a better structured sentences in the book or in a reading that they are taking notes at that moment. So this is my exposition about this topic of the direct object, indirect object, and the oblique object. So I hope that this video is going to help you guys, and we will see you guys in the next time. Thank you.